I'm inside and I saw Barbie. It is directed by Greta Gerwig. And if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. By the way, this came out in 2023. Everyone's been talking about it, and I never saw it until now. Also, I have a guest here. Very lovely guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Crystal Quin. What's up?
Heck yeah, we got Crystal Quin here to talk about Barbie. What's your first exposure to Barbie?
I saw it, unfortunately, with Tony from Hack the Movies and Casey, who also joins us for Hack the Movies. And unfortunately, I did not get to sit next to Casey. I had to sit next to Tony. I had a miserable experience, but I love the movie.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Man.
Don't sit next to a Tony. Don't sit next to a Tony, especially during a Barbie movie.
Is it? Okay, I bet sitting next to celebrities is more fun, except for that celebrity in particular, the very famous YouTuber Tony from Hack the Movies.
I'm gonna throw up everywhere. I'm nauseous now.
So, okay, let's jump right into this movie. So, oh boy, this movie starts, we're seeing them in Barbie Land. And do you want to visit Barbie Land yourself?
I absolutely do. Because I don't have to think anymore. But like,
yeah.
But like the thinking is easier. It's not like a thinking where you're like, oh, I really got to problem solve and everything like that. It's just, they are just naturally beautiful. They're naturally smart, and it just comes, and there's no pressure.
Yeah, I do. The thing that I like about this movie already at the very beginning is like, it's establishing like Barbie Land, and it's like, it's pristine, perfect. Nobody's got any like self-conscious issues until there's this like mom, and she's like, do you guys ever think about death? And that was my favorite, like my favorite part of the very beginning. I was like, ooh, they're starting to think about human things. And it's like, oh, okay, so this movie is pretty much immediately about like the difference between like what a Barbie is and what a human is, and it's the transformation of a Barbie into a human is how I see it.
Yeah.
So like, oh boy,
it's just like, how much does our society kind of is not perfect at all whatsoever.
Yeah, we have Barbie society, perfect. Human society, not perfect whatsoever.
No.
But I do like how we see Ken is also dealing with his own issues. Poor Ken. He has to be Barbie's best friend, and what a terrible role that is if you're in Barbie Land.
Just does. I mean, yeah.
That's sarcasm, by the way.
So yeah, he loves Barbie so much and wants to be with her and thinks, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, like that's what a lot of people thought Ken and Barbie were growing up.
Yeah.
But as you find out later in the movie, spoiler, the mom, this is what I think, is because the mom never had a Ken. The mom never had a Ken before. So this Barbie, the main Barbie, was, spoiler, was her Barbie. And because she never had a Ken, this Barbie doesn't have any feelings for Ken.
Okay. I didn't... Okay.
I just threw you for a loop.
Yeah, I didn't really catch that.
She never had a Ken.
I honestly was more so focusing on how Ken was like having an existential crisis on what it means to be a man, and he like goes through time and space and goes to manland.
Yes, I mean, he also does that. Those are all facts.
Yeah. Oh boy, man, it's just this movie, like for the first like I'd say 2/3 of it, I'm like, I'm down. I'm so into the idea of like Barbie becoming like more depressed, and then we have literally depressed Barbie, weird Barbie.
I love weird Barbie because everyone had a weird Barbie. Like, that is so true. Like, everyone had that one Barbie that you kind of experimented on.
Oh man, I've never had a Barbie before.
What?
Yeah, I've never had a Barbie before.
Can I get you your first Barbie?
Sure, go ahead.
What kind of Barbie do you want?
A black one.
Okay, black Barbie does what? Black Barbie could do anything.
Does she code?
I can find a black Barbie that does code.
Okay. All right. I'll gladly accept
or
the
like
black Barbie that
some
codes.
type of like smart Barbie that does like computer stuff, or like, I don't know. I'll find it. I'll make it perfect. I'll make a mint black Barbie.
All right. Well, thank you. Gracious. You got a very gracious guest over here. Very gracious.
Just the fact you never had a Barbie. That's insane.
I've mostly I drew. I had Legos, I had like Duplos, and then I had like train sets that like those wooden train blocks.
Yeah, I had those too.
Yeah, I did a lot of building, but I never played with toys and dolls.
Oh no.
I guess when I was younger, I was like, toys are stupid. Dolls are dumb. I was really in that phase. But.
Oh no, I had that whole mother phase because I'm the oldest of 5 and there was only one boy. It was all girls. So we all shared the toys. We all shared the Barbies and the dolls. And because I was a mother figure growing up, which is very different now, went opposite. I just was always playing house and I was always playing teacher and I was always like, oh, look at this Barbie and playing Houseland. And then as I got older, every toy I had sex with each other. Like the cars, like the little Matchbox cars, they literally had sex with each other. The little figurines, because we went to yard sales. That's how I got all my Barbies and all my toys is from yard sales.
Nice.
And yeah, every single one, as I got older, they all had sex with each other.
As you do. I mean, instead of toys, I drew people having sex when I was growing up. So, you know,
I like
stuff.
yours better. Nice.
Oh, you know, there's no sex in this movie.
There's not. Well, they also don't have sex parts.
Yeah, they don't have sexual organs.
Nothing. It's flat. Ken's flat.
Are they all just like plastic? Is the Barbie titties plastic?
Yes.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Barbie titties are plastic, but then again, so are like half the world's titties are also plastic or silicone. So if you think about that, we have a lot more in common with Barbie than we thought.
I don't have any silicone.
Me neither.
I don't got any silicone, so I don't got anything in common with Barbie. Oh,
besides you pretty.
Aw, thank you. You're pretty too.
Oh, thank you. See, Barbies lift Barbies up.
Exactly. That's the point of this movie.
That really is.
Oh, I also really like Will Ferrell as
my God.
Will Ferrell as the executive guy, the CEO guy. He's just coming in and he's just like, all right, you guys made up. I'm it's fun. He comes in when the Barbies like make up and like dealing with something, and then they solve an issue, and then he comes in and he's like, oh, you guys have an issue, and it's like they already solved it, and let me propose a totally different solution.
I love him.
And it messes it up. He's a great role. He's a great cast in the role.
He always is. Every role he has, I love. He does it so specifically. He makes every role his own. He doesn't overdo it. At least I don't think so. And I think what he brings to this table is definitely a comedy relief.
Yeah.
And brings it in because we're not just, it's a different type of male figure. So when Ken goes into the real world, he's like, oh, he sees the horses and the man stuff, and that takes over, and that's all you see. But I think Will Ferrell brings in a different type of point of view because, like women, I mean, we're all human, and we all have different personalities, and we can't just group all the men and the female together as one type of, stereotype.
Yeah.
He brings in something different, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's like he's like a different dude. He's just a different type of guy.
Yeah,
than Ken.
He's not that masculine. We always want to talk about like masculine toxicity. You know the word. I can't speak. So the toxic male figure is what is being shown in your face. I mean, there is a lot of subjects that are shown very clearly in this movie, and they don't shy away from the subjects. They don't shy away from issues.
Yeah.
They do hit you pretty hard in the head, but this is one of the only movies that I don't mind it because it fits.
Yeah, there was some lines that I do remember. It's like there's a lot of the theme in this movie is like they're dealing with the patriarchy, and there's also like this constitution that they are like trying to establish, and it's like, oh, we were going to defeat the patriarchy. Let's make Barbie Land more Barbie. That part was like, okay, it's a little bit confusing, but like, have you thought about Ken? Like, but that's the second half of the movie explains that.
Yeah, they're trying to make it Kenland.
Yeah.
And then it was just falling apart, which is trying to say like, hey, if women ruled the real world, it would be a perfect place. But now we have men controlling it, and it's horrible, which I don't necessarily believe at all whatsoever. Yeah, I think if we did have more equal, because I personally have experienced this kind of stuff where like, yeah, if I was seen as an equal to a male doing production work and stuff like that, it's something I do fight for. Would it make my job easier? Absolutely. It would make me a little less passive aggressive or defensive. Not passive, I guess defensive is definitely the word. So I don't go in nervous or scared or anything like that. I think things might be a little more even toned because I think the world and we are, I think, going into a better direction But I don't think, hey, if women just took over, nah, I wouldn't. No, I couldn't do that. I like hanging out with males and females, or even
That's
people
true.
of non-gender identification or so. I like hanging out with people.
What do you think about? Do you think there would like? Do you think an autistic person would do well within this society? Like, here's a thought experiment. Because like, for me, I've never really cared about my gender that much. I've kind of just like, oh, I'll just hang out with whoever, and it's mostly like dudes growing up. So like if you're an autistic Barbie, maybe you hang out with mostly Kens. If you're like me, like I don't know, like as for the ruling party, anyone who's qualified, which is to say I say almost nobody's qualified. Everyone's just trying their best.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you look at your parents, you're like you're growing up, you're like, what the blah, blah, blah. Then you grow up and you're like, oh, they're just human beings that had
Jess,
sex and
bleep
popped
those
a
out,
baby.
please. Jess, bleep out the swear words, please. Thank you. The end of the movie. So we have Ken and Barbie are like reconciling. First of all, Ryan Reynolds is Ken. Good casting choice. I like
Oh,
him.
absolutely. If you ever look at the outtakes, they're hilarious.
I have not seen the outtakes.
Yo, you gotta see the outtakes for this movie. It's phenomenal. They're fun. They just look like they're having so much fun in this movie, and I think it shows.
It does
and
show.
they care
so
much about the subject, and he actually really cares too, because his whole thing was he saw his daughter had a Ken Barbie outside, and he was like, what the hell, no one cares about Ken. And like that's what made him like want to take this role. It's like bringing Ken to the light. So I think it really does
get some
it's
Ken
really
representation
cool. Yeah,
up in this place.
was it they have the whole motto like Ken enough or Ken enough.
Ken enough.
Ken enough, like you're Ken enough. Ken's good enough.
Yeah, he is.
Ken's good enough. He is good enough, and he needs to believe in himself.
Yeah, I like the
He's
part.
got it.
I like the part where he doesn't believe in himself, and then he's like really sad, and everyone's like, "No, Ken, we love you." And then he's like, "I am Ken," and then like he
Yeah.
throws his like jacket off to the crowd, and I was like, "I like that."
Yeah, it's
What
more
a-
like everyone needs to uplift each other.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it should be. Instead of, different gender, you want to play that role. I think it's more of, hey, how about we just lift each other up and we don't hate each other or get jealous of each other. Just lift
Yeah.
each other up, and I think it'd be great.
Speaking of jealousy, okay, I definitely skipped around in this movie review, but I really like the part where they're at the campfire and they're just like saying like terrible things about each other. It's just like a game of telephone. They're like, oh, let's go talk smack about right here. Let's go talk about smack about the other person. Let's make it just turn everyone against each other. And I'm like, oh boy, that's entertaining, but that's not worthwhile for a good community. Because that community is going to get utterly destroyed.
And that was the whole point, and it happened.
Oh, yeah.
It did. Oh my God, the fight scene. The fight scene of all the Kens was magical.
I was like, some of them, it seems like most of them don't know any martial arts.
No, why isn't there a martial arts Ken doll?
I don't
Or
know.
I'm sure there's not that many Ken dolls.
I guess
So.
there's more Barbie than Ken dolls.
Yes, there is.
Oh, speaking of Barbie, I was in the toy aisle the other day, and I was like, man, there's so many Barbies here. Where are the Kens? I don't see any Kens.
No,
There's no
not.
Kens.
It's sad. And then we have the Alan doll played by Michael Cera.
Oh, yeah.
It was phenomenal. Alan was put out, I believe, in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, and didn't really go off anywhere. And there was only one type of Alan.
Alan?
That was it.
Oh, boy. I never heard of an Alan doll before this movie.
No.
Like,
I think most people have it.
There's a lot of like dolls that were discontinued. Like, I remember this particular doll. It's like pregnant Barbie, and like
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I thought I discontinued you,"
Which is true. Like that's actually like a lot of those. If you look into the research all the Easter eggs in this movie, there is so many little things that existed that people don't even realize. Like even the background of the film, like if you just look in the back, there's things that actually existed. So it brought back so much nostalgia for a lot of people that grew up with stuff that did get discontinued, and it was such a treat to so many people. Like every single thing in the fight scene was actually a Barbie accessory. Every single thing existed in the Barbie world.
I wonder what the collector's market is like.
Yo, probably ridiculous.
Probably
That's a whole nother
ridiculous.
world.
Oh boy, speaking of worlds, so the ending, I'm not fond of this ending. So the ending is Barbie is like, I want to be a human. I want to experience human life. And like, part of me is like, well, the entire point of the movie is that you're Barbie and you keep saying that you're Barbie and you're like trying to reconcile with your identity and that you're Barbie and now you don't want to be Barbie, you instead want to be Barbara. And also the scene where the actual founder of Barbie, the old woman as a ghost, comes in and she's like talking to you. She's like, you don't have any end. You don't have any end. You want to be human? And she's like, yeah, I want to have my own end. She's like, you will die, right? You'll die. Your life will end. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Why would Barbie? I didn't sign up to be alive and then die in like 70 years. I didn't choose.
No.
Barbie chose. That decision offended me. What did you think?
It was interesting. Yeah. If I could live in that perfect world over there, I'd be like, yo, what's good? Like I choose. Yeah, because I think it's because we've lived in this world long enough. I bet you she's gonna figure it out. Maybe because it's exciting and so different.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, death. And like, yeah, sure, I get excited about like creepy deathy things.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, she'll be like 2 years in. She goes, can we look at that deal?
Can I go back to Barbie Land? My back's hurting.
The thing is, she's gonna start aging.
Yeah.
And she's gonna go back as like Grandma Barbie.
So here's my favorite line from the very ending. We leave the world of plastic and fakeness, and we enter the world of Los Angeles full of plastic and fakeness.
Yes.
I like that line a lot. Oh boy.
It's great and it's so true.
It's so true.
I want to see Barbie in New York though.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, she's not gonna make it as well.
Oh boy.
Because we're mean to your face.
Yeah. Hey, we're walking here. And she's like, she doesn't know how a crosswalk works, so she's just walking in the middle of the road.
Massive amounts of taxis. Just like, what the hell?
Or like lots of, hey girl, you look good. You look good. And she'd be like,
well, she saw that in the construction when they're like, that scene when like she's realizing how like creepy a lot of people are, which is so true too. They really show it in your face. I was like, yeah. So she already had her little exposure to the creepiness of,
that's good at least
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, make sure you get exposed to creepy real fast.
Get exposed early so you don't get blindsided when you're older.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
That's like drinking. Drink when you're younger so you become a pro when you're older.
Exactly. That's what the Europeans do. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We have so much teen drinking illegal in America. That's why there's so many teen deaths caused by drinking, because it's illegal. No one allow you to do it, and so there's no safety regulations that allow you to not die. Nobody's supervising you, and you're like, oh, you're not allowed to drink. Let me drink a gallon of Tito's. Now you're dead. That's what happens if you have teen drinking illegal. Versus Europe, they got it right. There's not many drinking deaths there because everyone already knows how to drink. They're exposed when they're young.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Let's bring drink. like, well, I don't even know. I think our society at this point in America is just like, they're so immature at that point. It's like, did we miss that boat? Like, we gotta somehow make it into like, okay, if you were born at this time, then we can like kind of age you in.
Oh boy.
But what did you think of the very last thing of like, we're gonna have you do the most exciting thing or the most important thing of your life or whatever it was, and then gynecologist. You're like, what?
Oh man.
Out of all the things.
I was
the ending just like bleh.
I remember I was working out when I was watching this movie, and like the very last line, she's like, "Hi, I'm Barbara. I'm here to see a gynecologist." And I'm like, "Thank you for reminding me I have to go to a gynecologist. Thank you, movie."
Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, the movie was fun. I really liked like the first 2/3 of it, and then like the last third of it, I was like, I'm not really a big fan of the ending, but like I do like the overall message of the movie.
Yes.
So what did you think overall of the movie?
I loved it. There was a few things here and there that I was like, it wasn't a perfect movie for me.
Right.
Yes, like you said, like towards the ending when she was like decide to go like live in the real world, like I get it. I understand what they were going for. but it just didn't hit as home as the rest of the movie. I think the beginning of the movie, the middle, the ending of the movie was so strong for me.
Yeah.
The ending just wasn't as strong for me personally. But
Yeah.
I loved it. I would love to watch it a couple more times too. It's not a movie that I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch it once and then never again.
Yeah.
I want to watch it multiple times just because it's fun.
You know, I think I don't know if I would watch this movie again. I mean, I really like the colors. I really like the world and how neon it is, and I really like all the character designs, and there's a huge ensemble here. It's just the ending. Like, I know how it's going to end, so it's just like, wow, I'm not sure if I would want to watch this movie again, but I enjoyed it. What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
8.5. 9.
Okay,
8.5,
so
9.
you're doing a 8.5 out of 10?
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the perfect movie, but I liked it a lot. And that's like 10 is like a movie that barely ever exists. That's my.
That's okay. That's good. That's a good bar. I think I'd give this like a solid like 7.5.
All right.
It's like a 7.5.
All right.
Where can we find you? Plug your stuff.
Social medias, Crystal Quin. Yeah, I have a link tree on there. There's a whole bunch of different links of all my socials. I'm also on Hack the Movies. I'm a co-host on there. Hopefully I'll be coming out with my own content too, hopefully in the near future. Just find me, Crystal Quin. Google it. I don't know. Search it. I'm there. I'm on the internet.
Heck yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff will also be in the description. So click that links below.
All right. If you like this review, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 redeems at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like to help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree. Find the way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, mint salad, I'll see you later to my sour croutons and bacon bits.